The London of fashion models, princes and some of the biggest names in rock and roll.
This is definitely the place to come.
Absolutely fabulous 24/7.
You just have people just pouring into here.
In this lowdown on London high life, a makeover for your tourists, a vast improvement in our menus and 100 places to spot the stars. This is Hipster London. This place is cool. Welcome to London, one of the world's most exciting and happening cities. I'm Abby Eastwood, that's Abbey, like Westminster Abbey and Abbey Road, one of this great city's most famous landmarks. Now, London has come a long way since the days of the swinging 60s and the Beatles. Now it's a favourite with the likes of Madonna and Gwyneth Paltrow, the place the coolest of Americans want to see and be seen. So to join them, you need a pep in your step, the coolest of clothes and a drink in your hand. The English have come a long way from pints of warm beer in smoky pubs. Now it's all about bar vibe and cocktail culture. Absolutely fabulous, darling, especially if you want to see where and how the stars come out at night. Sam Mann is a journalist who's seen all sorts of celebrities shaken and stirred.
London drinking culture has got something for everybody. I mean, you've got your pubs that now they close at 11, but then there's bars now that open much later. So we've got a lot of choices now. The Blue Bar used to be just a boring, dull, brown coloured reading room until designer David Collins got his hands on it and made it into the place to be in London.
Situated in the Berkeley Hotel in Kensington, the staff at the Blue Bar have poured drinks for Madonna and her husband Guy Ritchie.
We're very big with the fashion crowd and we get our fair share of celebrities. The blue in the Blue Bar is unique. The paint that you see here is actually Chinese clay as opposed to your normal paint. And you'll notice on some parts of the walls that unusual cracked effect. It's actually called cracked gesso, which takes them about half a day just to do a foot square. So you can imagine how long it took them to do the whole bar.
Madonna was apparently so impressed with the unique design of the bar that she invited its designer into her house to look at what he could create for her. However, sometimes even Madonna doesn't make it past the door.
One night she turned up with Guy and there was a private launch, a book launch there, and they got turned away. And I mean, you know, imagine being Madonna and turning up to your, you know, one of your favourite haunts, being told, no, sorry, not tonight. And so that was struck off her list for at least a year until it's back in favour now.
Poor Madonna, out in the cold. The London weather isn't all that conducive to alfresco alcoholics, but there are plenty of places to cosy up indoors, and none is hotter than the Fire Vault.
I mean, this place is fantastic, especially when it's miserable wet weather, which us British are known for hating. You can just come in here and just sort of sit down, put your feet up, have a cocktail and sit by the fire.
When you drink at the Fire Vault, you can not only warm your hands by the fire, you can take the fireplace home. Everything on display is for sale.
You know, the fact that it is a fireplace showroom makes it quite trendy, you know, and I think everybody in London is looking for something a bit different than just a normal bar where you just sit down, have a drink and a chat with your friends. So that's what makes it so great.
But when you've got to go, you've got to go. And ladies, you might want to go before you reach Pop. Pop just isn't the place to be if you're bursting. Here, if you don't watch what you're drinking, you'll be in for a shock when you reach the bathroom. In this bar, the ladies' toilets offer standing room only. But at the Rex Cinema and Bar, everyone gets a seat.
The Rex is a very small place. I mean, you know, you can sort of, if you lose your friend, you'll find them within 5 minutes.
The Rex even has its own exclusive cinema that can seat up to 70 people and attracts the stars in droves.
A lot of stars now, when they come over, they hire the place out and have private parties. Justin Timberlake loves the place. He's had a couple of parties there already. And Britney's had a party there too, obviously following in the footsteps of Justin.
Justin and Britney are such regulars at the Rex that they even have a favourite cocktail.
They've tried various drinks, but when Justin comes down, he normally drinks a Cockney cobbler. And when Britney was here, she drank a watermelon bramble.
London's hip and happening cocktail hours mean that no matter what you order in the best bars, you're bound to see stars. But if you're going to fit in, you'll need to look the part. London is the capital of design, style and fashion class. With department stores on Oxford Street, designer stores on the King's Road and New Bond Street, and the market stalls of Camden, Covent Garden and Portobello, London has something for every shopper.
Thank you. London is a shopper's paradise, with literally thousands of stores to choose from grand department stores to the more exclusive boutiques. This really is the city to shop until you drop. A fashion mecca for the rich, the royal and the famous. And we're going to show you exactly where to go to get that perfect look.
When it comes to fashion, every international designer worth their threads has at least one outlet here. The mecca for the fashion industry is February's London Fashion Week, where designers have the opportunity to show their work off. Girl about town Emma Jones and model Chloe Bailey are the Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie of London.
Apparently it's going to be like really military, kind of like...
Oh, yes. Oh, we're feeling that.
New, like...
Oh, dear. Just a few minutes away, hey?
They're here to help Tony and Mary Brack, Americans who long to learn the London look.
Hi, how are you? Hi. Chloe.
Mary, nice to meet
Pleased to meet you. Tony, for you, we're thinking Hugh Grant.
Excellent.
For you, Mary, we're thinking Kate Moss. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm excited. I've always wanted to dress up. I've never had a chance to. I usually just wear blue jeans and a
We're
t-shirt.
thinking kind of British toff. So basically, we're going to take you to Nottinghill.
Yes.
Where there's some fantastic shops. We're going to kit you out to look like a true celeb. And in the meantime, Em's going to take you, Tony, into the West End.
Into town with elite shops.
All right, guys.
And with the introductions done, it's time to explore the London shops.
Taxi!
So, Tony, what are your views on British fashion, then?
Well, I don't know. In the movies, I guess I see some of the older English movies with the top hats and the nice suits, but then you also have a lot of the Hugh Grant movies where they're the unbuttoned dress shirt and
The
it's
more
like
modern
it's a lot,
twist to
yeah,
it,
a little
to the
more modern
traditional.
twist, yeah.
Now, vintage is kind of the English way to say, well, it's posh secondhand, let's put it that way. But it's the best of British fashion you're going to see today, but it's all very old.
Sounds very exciting.
Situated on Jermyn Street, just off Piccadilly, Turnbull and Astle was established in 1883, and because of its reputation for formal but very colourful designs, it was nicknamed the Gentleman's Peacock.
Tony, come and have a look over here. One of their clients, Winston Churchill, that's one of his outfits that he actually wore.
We can still see the cigar burns from when he was wearing it.
For every gentleman in London, it's essential that they master the bow tie, although the trick is to learn a shortcut.
A member of staff who loved tying bow ties, unfortunately he had rheumatism in his fingers, and he created this method where you tie it around your leg. This causes a lot of fun with customers because they like to learn how to do it. Unfortunately, it does take you some time to learn how to do it. Now, I'll try and do it with you.
Okay, then up like this.
That's it. Cross underneath.
Okay.
Twist. And
Okay.
fold over.
Okay.
Then fold
And
that
then-
towards you. And
Then you unclip it.
wear it and it's keep it at
okay.
home, no one knows.
With Tony's bow tie, I think maybe it would go very well with a suit. So what about if we go to the
Yeah, sure.
cutting area now and get a nice tailored
Suit, yeah.
suit
Sounds
there?
good.
Yeah. Okay, Tony, why don't we have a look at the double-breasted first?
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of jackets, but not many different ones to choose from. They're all the same.
Yeah.
I want to take you somewhere where it's a little bit more, well, it's a lot more funkier.
Okay.
More modern, you know, and I think Mary would like to see you in something
think
more,
so.
more trendy rather than traditional. So
I
why don't we go
agree.
and check it out?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. So let's
By the time Tony is dressed to kill, he'll be wanting some eye candy for his arm. So Mary has travelled west to Portobello Road and vintage clothes heaven.
Oh, wow, look at this place. It's amazing. And this is worth what?
That's worth $5.50.
Jeff Giannaco is the proud owner of One of a Kind.
Most people know One of a Kind, and you know, if you don't know One of a Kind, then put it this way, you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, fair enough. And we're trying to go for designer and vintage. Now, this is totally out of our price range.
Yes.
But I would be absolutely thrilled if you'd let her try it on.
Oh, come on, let's have some fun.
Mary, come on. It's yours, honey.
Let's have some fun.
The diamond-encrusted dress is worth around $30,000. A little bit out of Mary's price range.
Not the same person who was in here a minute ago.
Now you've had a taster of a vintage store, which is slightly expensive. We're going to take you to Hell's Bells and find you a nice little frock to wear.
Having been measured up, Tony still hasn't found the right look, but Emma knows the perfect place.
Yeah. So I want to take you somewhere where it's a lot more trendier.
Okay.
Very colourful, so I hope you like your colours.
I do.
He is the cutting edge of fashion.
Okay.
And this is Oswald Boateng, and I'm sure you must have heard of him.
I think I've heard of it.
Here we are.
Wow.
You've got to wear shades when seeing that. No, we don't.
No, definitely
we're not
staying away
feeling
from
the
that.
cord. No, wait. Oh, look at these. How elegant. Now, how sexy. Women love red. Red on a guy is the most sexiest thing. Now, I know Mary will like this.
I don't know
on
what
you.
pants you wear with it, though.
Oh, it doesn't matter, honey.
Doesn't matter.
The jacket will do alone, okay?
Oswald Boateng suits start from $1,500 and have been worn by the likes of Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne.
The colour, striking. He's hot.
Until last year, these brightly coloured suits were the hottest look. Now, it's all about crossing the design with a traditional pinstripe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tony's found his truly British look, but he's got a little more shopping to do before he can reveal to Mary his new threads.
All right then, so you're all suited up there.
Yeah.
Now we've got to get booted up. So I think we'll better shoot off because time's getting on.
Okay.
So we're going to get you some nice shoes there to go with this amazing suit.
Let's do it.
Mary's going to love it.
Meanwhile, in Maida Vale, Mary and Chloe are in Hell's Bells.
Wow, this place is amazing. It's like Aladdin's cave, and this is where we're going to find you a beautiful vintage frock to wear. Okay, well, look, that's pretty cute. Oh, that's gorgeous, definitely. Some suede.
Oh, wow, that feels nice.
Oh, that would go quite cute underneath it. Yes. They're beautiful. That's a definite must. Go try them on.
Now both Tony and Mary have their outfits. They just have to complete the look with some fashion accessories. For Tony, it's Geoffrey West in Piccadilly Arcade for some shoes. And for Mary, it's Relic in Ladbroke Grove for some little pretty things.
We've got a Boateng suit and we need to get some shoes to go with it. So we need your help here.
Right, OK. With Boateng, we tend to go for the more pointed look, so we suggest something along these lines.
So let's add those to the
They would be
to the
perfect,
list.
Mary, no, and they're not too high either.
Again, very sharp. So whichever you like to try,
Let's
really.
try some on and see what I like.
Time to take your jacket off. Have a poke around and let's see what you like in the shop. I think the Spaniard
A little
is better.
Venetian necklace. Yeah, like very dainty.
It might not go with the dress, but we're still going to try it anyway. It's beautiful.
No.
You look absolutely fantastic. So, I think the time has come. Let's go find Tony.
After over 8 hours shopping, it's finally over. And about time Emma and Chloe had a cup of tea and a catch-up, while Mary and Tony get ready to show off their new look.
There we go, sweetie. Well-deserved cup of tea.
Absolutely. Scone, how's your day?
Pretty successful. He's looking so sexy.
Does he look great?
She is going to love it. Why don't we go and see them now?
We've got to, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Come on. Brilliant. I can't wait. Okay, Mary, so we just devoted a whole day to turning you into a true English lady, and you're just about to meet your true English gentleman.
Come to the final now.
Are you nervous?
Yes, of course.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous. It's pretty exciting though.
Well, let's reveal.
Oh.
Wow! It looks so beautiful. Yeah. What's with these earrings?
Yeah, they're my pom-pom earrings.
Yeah? You're gonna put those on the Christmas tree next year?
I think it looks very cute.
Good.
Yeah, I like the pinstripes. My sunglasses.
Okay, put them on. Let me see.
So come on, guys, what do you think of each other?
Well, I think he looks fantastic.
He looks very dapper.
Oh, yes, very handsome.
Yeah, I think she looks like she's dressed up for Halloween.
She looks $1 million. What are you saying?
You gotta see the sleeves.
Oh,
yes, let's have a look at this.
Oh, very nice.
The outfit.
I really like the outfit. I like the dress a lot, yeah.
And it's a success.
Well
done. It's time for you to hit the town now, guys.
The look for the toff and his top totty, that's posh boy and hot chick to you, totalled in at over $4,000. But if you're more of a scruff than a swank or a swell, then don't despair, because the London shops sell more than just clothes. Stay in West London, your t-shirt and tennis shoes, and you'll fit right into rough trade. This Notting Hill record store is supposedly the shop that inspired the movie High Fidelity. It might not look like much, but this is the record shop to the stars.
We get lots of celebs in, like especially the ones living locally. A lot of music business people live locally, like Brian Eno comes in a lot, Robert Plant's in. People like Courtney Love will drop in if she's in town, Johnny Depp and all them, Stephen Dorff, as well as all like London musicians, we get them all in. Chemical Brothers live around here somewhere.
When I first walked into the shop, I mean, I was taken by the fact that there were so many things on the walls and, you know, a big selection and so forth.
I saw the headphones and stuff back there, so I was guessing that you could listen to it, so yeah. I made an impression of it being a good shop.
Rough Trade Records is open 10 till 6:30 Monday to Saturday and 1 till 5 on Sundays. Mayfair and Piccadilly, the most expensive addresses on the British Monopoly Board and home to some of the oldest and finest hotels. But with more than 200 star-rated hotels to choose from in central London, the 2.5 million Americans that stay here each year are spoilt for choice. Travel writer Jane Anderson has made it her job to seek out the most hip places to stay.
Having been a travel writer for about 12 years now, I've stayed in a lot of hotels around the world. And I can honestly say that London would be one of the best places to find a great hotel. Areas of London that you might not ordinarily expect to find a cool hotel, there will be one tucked away.
Situated discreetly in a terrace block in trendy Notting Hill is the Portobello Hotel. Over the years, stars as diverse as Tina Turner, Alice Cooper, and of course Julia Roberts have checked in here.
It's a real hideaway for celebrities, and the suites are amazing. There's a very famous Suite 16 which has a round bed. It's just a very romantic hotel.
But it's the infamous stories that echo from the hotel that help lift the lid on its rock and roll guests, from mice for Alice Cooper's pet python to baths filled with champagne. So if sleeping alongside snakes and their rock star owners sounds a bit stressful, then maybe you need the relaxing surrounds of the Hempel Hotel in Bayswater.
Welcome to Hempel.
From the moment you walk into the pure white stone foyer, you know you're staying somewhere special.
The whole hotel was designed around the concept of Zen. Zen, Feng Shui, the whole sort of lifestyle element. Very light, very simple, very minimalist. The lobby sets the tone for the rest of the hotel.
The rooms start at $300 a night. Each one is a unique design. In the Lioness Den, you can sleep in a bed suspended from the ceiling. And with only 35 bedrooms and 11 suites and apartments available, if you stay at the Hempel, there's a chance you'd be rubbing shoulders with some special talent.
The people that stay here vary from 50 Cent, Usher, I think we've had Naomi Campbell here in the past.
And it's not just the bedrooms. If the hotel gardens look familiar, then it's the movie Notting Hill again. Here, Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts, well, their characters at least, finally said I do.
It is a very cool and hip and different hotel. If you're looking for something fashionable, modern, but still comfortable, then this is definitely the place to come.
If you like cutting-edge design, something a bit funky, a bit different, you'd go somewhere like Sanderson.
The Sanderson used to be a dreary office block. Now a mix of sci-fi, high-tech and Louis XV glamour greets hotel guests.
You walk into the reception of the Sanderson and right in front of you you've got things like a red lip sofa and there's a fantastic gold shop if you want some quirky gifts to take back home.
But who'd really want to go home with luxury like this on offer? But if you're after a more traditional experience, then you've got to stay here at the Dorchester Hotel on Park Lane. It's completely different to the modern minimalist hotels. If you're after Hollywood's idea of a proper English afternoon, then you've got to come here for tea. We brought Americans Betsy Nicholas, Christina Belton and Layla Hardman to see why it's remained an English tradition.
It's a tradition that's been around for years and years and years, hundreds of years, and so I feel honoured to be able to take part of it.
The steps to serving afternoon tea is pretty much like a three-course meal. It's the guests are sat, menus are given. We would then take an order, and then we start with the tea. We serve the tea first. We would then serve the sandwiches, offer the scones with the clotted cream and the homemade strawberry jam.
How do you pronounce these?
I pronounce them as scones.
Like I would, and like
Yeah.
we would, okay.
Yeah.
But so many people here call them scones.
That's right. And then we serve the pastries.
But afternoon tea isn't all that's on offer at the Dorchester. Down in the depths of the hotel is one of London's top kitchens, and in it the most exclusive dining experience in town, the chef's table.
Stand there and I shall click this switch and it's transparent. So opaque, transparent, it's quite fun. And here we go.
Frosted glass keeps unwelcome onlookers away from the table, which could be handy for the members of the royal family known to dine at the Dorchester. Unless the royals want to keep an eye on the kitchen staff, then a flick of the switch changes the view.
This is great, being able to watch the preparation of the food. It's a ringside seat. I mean, it really is. Really. But it's backstage, I feel like I have backstage concert tickets.
The chef's table is the perfect private dining experience for any jet-setting celebrity looking for a bite to eat. And the hotel's private penthouse suite can provide the perfect Hollywood wedding venue, as it did for Sly Stallone. It was in this room overlooking London that the Hollywood star was snapped by the paparazzi on his wedding day to Jennifer Flavin. It's no surprise that the hotel attracts the stars. The 53-bedroom suites are both relaxing and high-tech. In fact, the rooms have so much technology hidden away that there's a specialised virtual valet to help guests figure it all out.
We have a plasma TV here for you, which is 42 inches, which is found quite big. You also find in each room a computer and a printer for your use. Now we have 60 films, which are recent releases available for guests, and we also have 5,000 tracks of music. Any radio station that streams through a media player throughout the world, we can actually get, and most of them we have on our system. So whereabouts are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey. Well, let's see if we can't find something relatively close to your location. We've got some Massachusetts there, and there we have, do you know of WBGO? That's jazz, maybe you're not into jazz.
WWFM.
WWFM, classical, and some contemporary WCZT. So we do have a certain amount of stations available for you.
So it was incredible, the amount of movies and just the control you have over them, as well as the radio stations. I was really impressed with that. And you can turn your laptop into a 42-inch plasma screen if you want to through the VGA connection. And the internet connection was high speed. When I first came here, it seemed really elegant and just a lot of attention to detail. And I didn't expect the attention to detail with the technology aspect. And it really surprised me because it's kind of hidden away, nothing's out in the open.
It really is a home away from home, where, if you want to, you can chill to the vibe of your own local radio station, in a hotel that couldn't be more English. The streets of London are steeped in history. Around every corner is a treasure trove of cultural sightseeing. But these days, it's not heritage that's making the headlines, it's new British art. So we'll be giving you an insider's guide to this cutting-edge trend and reveal some of the most exciting and shocking. With free admission to every public gallery in London, there isn't a better city in the world to see a wide range of art. But obviously, there are some galleries that visitors just can't afford to miss. London artist Noel Payne gives us the exclusive lowdown on where to go and what to look at.
The art scene is exceptionally healthy in London. It's very, very vibrant, and that's come on the back of this young British art movement, which has been good.
Noel has been living and painting in London for over 10 years. Over this time, the London art scene has changed dramatically, and there are now some new great places to see it.
If you're a tourist for the weekend coming to London, try and get to Tate Modern. Just to see the building is very, very impressive.
At over 370,000 square feet, the Tate Modern is London's largest gallery. It was originally designed as a power station by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott. He also designed the famous British red telephone box. But today, it holds some of the hottest art.
I would sum up the Tate Modern as something you'd have to definitely go check out, just because it's so different than anything I've ever seen in the States.
Situated just over a mile up the River Thames from the Tate Modern is the Saatchi Gallery.
I think the Saatchi Gallery is worth visiting because it shows a cross-section of young British art from the last 10, 15 years.
The gallery is named after its benefactor, Lord Saatchi, and holds some of the coolest and most controversial art in the country. This might look like an unmade bed to most people, but when you've paid over $15 to get into the Saatchi Gallery, it's definitely art.
I've read about the bed before and know how much controversy it stirred, but it's the first time I've ever seen it. And to be honest, when I first read about it, I was pretty appalled that somebody could take their bed and sell it. It's a major rip-off.
There's the Richard Wilson piece, and it's a great big room full of oil, like a big bath of oil, and it reflects the ceiling. That's a piece that's really worth going to see.
Richard Wilson's thing, it was very interesting. It smelled weird, but just the experience of how it was reflected, being the most reflective, I guess, kind of liquid, was a kind of a brilliant idea.
The two tourists over there that look like they're a bit frozen in disbelief at the exhibits themselves, I think that's a great sense of humor.
If you also want a handle on what London's looking at, then the Saatchi Gallery is open between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. For a more unusual experience, you may prefer to view your art on water. The Prunelli Gallery at Canary Wharf is the only floating gallery in the capital, but it also doubles up as a home to Amy Whitworth's family.
The apartments just across from us here are going for £500,000 each, and this was nowhere near that, and we have 20 times more space. We've got an enormous outside deck area which we use for parties and for sculpture, and it's fantastic.
They opened the gallery in 2002 and are constantly putting on contemporary exhibitions.
The gallery's open Wednesday to Saturday, 12 till 6 generally, but we are open also by appointment. We probably have about 8 shows a year that are general 6-week exhibitions.
The great thing is, if you like what you see, you can buy it. Everything is for sale. You never know, you could be buying the next Picasso. In this vibrant, happening city, you are simply spoiled for choice of where to have fun. But just what is the trendiest part of town? Well, you've probably heard of the fabulous Nottinghill, the hub of the super cool in West London. But for ultra-hip Londoners, the place to be is Hoxton. over in the east. With every new generation, there is a new trendy area that epitomises it. For the millennium, Hoxton is that area. It used to be a rundown part of town sandwiched between the city and the true East End. But nearly 10 years ago, there was an influx of a younger, artistic crowd, and Hoxton Cool was born. With it came new styles and new haircuts. We took American student Parissa Sapapay to the area and offered her the chance of a new look, styled by award-winning Hoxton hairdresser Tony Hegarty.
I heard about the Hoxton mullet, I think it is. They're interesting, definitely interesting. I don't know if I would be one to suit it, but I've seen it on many people, including David Beckham, and it's definitely not something I'm used to back at home.
Tony Hegarty,
Hello, Marissa, nice to meet you.
Take a seat, darling.
Sure.
Have a quick chat. We have no limitations on what we can do.
No.
Absolutely complete change.
Not a lot of the length, but just colour. I want to go crazy with the colour.
So colour, 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 and more colour.
Yeah, love it.
Cool.
So why is Hoxton so hip and the place to be now?
Because of the creative influence in the area. It then draws in other people, so now it's drawn in bars, restaurants, clubs, but it's still got the base earthiness. If you'd like to come through, we'll get started and we'll work from there, darling.
Sounds
Just
good.
run the steps.
Unaware that she'll have a new look for their night out in Hoxton, Parissa waits for it to take shape. While local resident Paul Daly gives us an exclusive look at his $650,000 pad and the lowdown on the area.
Someone told me last Saturday night that they were looking at the listings in the Time Out, and most of it was in Hoxton and Shoreditch. It's just become a place, you know, you just have people just pouring into here late night.
But it's not just the place to go out in, it's also the place to go star spotting.
U2, they've been around in this area a lot. I think the Stones made a video in the Arches. But I mean, you know, everybody, I mean, Paul McCartney and like last week, Jude Law and Sienna Miller were just down in Dick Smith Gallery buying art. It's still, you know, it's still very much a cutting edge area.
Having now finished her makeover, Parissa is ready to hit the Hoxton bars. With its new trendy image, Hoxton is now home to the hippest of bars and the coolest of crowds. Lounge Lover on Whitby Street is popular with a media, fashion and celebrity crowd. But for Parissa, it's time to show her friends what she's been up to all day.
Wasn't what I expected at all, but I mean, she has beautiful hair and she's beautiful. She can pull off anything.
I think she looks hot. I think it's very British. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
The updo is definitely not me. I'm not a high maintenance type of girl. This is definitely high maintenance, but I like it.
It's kind of
Styled within an inch of her life, Parissa is looking forward to a big night in Hoxton. Eating out in London used to be considered an experience to tell your friends about for all the wrong reasons. But thankfully nowadays things have changed and London is considered one of the culinary capitals of the world. With cuisine from over 100 countries, it's got everything from fine dining to street food. Once famous for pie and mash, jelly deals and boiled ham, London is now awash with great food and great restaurants. Next to London Bridge and the River Thames, Borough Market is where all the best chefs go shopping. Giles Corrin, a food writer for The Times, thinks they really know their onions.
There's a trend in Britain towards a thing called the farmers' market where the best farmers from all over the country bring their food to certain areas. Borough Market is the oldest, the finest produce. All the chefs buy their food here. One of the great things about the London eating out scene is that there's so many different kinds of food. That there's this Chinese, Indian, Thai, all sorts of European things and Pacific and Japanese foods, partly because our native domestic cuisine doesn't have such a strong hold on the public imagination. In France and in Italy, they're so proud of their own food that there's very little else. In London, what we have above all is diversity. For years, it went without saying that the Gavroche was the best restaurant in London. It's been there 40 years. The chef now is the son of the chef who was there when it opened up. It has a wonderfully luxurious feeling, like a Pullman carriage. It feels sort of 19th century, very baroque. It's classic French cuisine, and you can eat very well at lunchtime for not all that much money.
Opened in 1967, the award-winning Le Gavroche is the ambassador for French cuisine in London.
And the theme of the place, the Gavroche, which is French for the urchin, means that you'll have little sort of urchin models on the tables, little sculptures, little urchins on the menus, and a really dazzling, exciting menu with possibly 50 things you've never seen before.
But if you're hungry to eat award-winning food that lets nothing go to waste, then St John in Smithfields is a must.
There's a chef called Fergus Henderson who has a philosophy that he calls nose-to-tail eating. So he serves every single part of the pig, from the tail to the crispy ears, everything but the squeak.
Obviously, when serving up parts of the animal that normally get thrown away, the trick is to package them in an attractive way.
There's just something quite satisfying about sending out a big pie in a pie dish and letting people dip in and help themselves. I mean, we have quite a selection. We've got pheasant and trotter today. We've done pigeon and trotter, veal and ham, chicken, rook, grouse.
And the restaurant's food has an international reputation.
I've been here in London for an entire week, and one of the things that I've wanted to have is typical, traditional English foods. I'm a son of a butcher, and I can remember in the old days, my father was always interested in eating the unusual cuts of meat, oxtails, something that we would never typically eat in the States, and I thought I would give it a try. Cheers.
But if you're pushed for time and still want a bite to eat, then popping into one of the new London Gastro pubs might be the answer. They're not just here for the beer.
Napoleon said that we were a nation of shopkeepers. The truth is we've been a nation of alcoholics for hundreds of years. And the great thing about the gastropub is that English people now go out to eat. They don't just go out to drink.
One of the best gastropubs in London is the Anchor and Hope, just round the corner from Waterloo Station. Being a pub, beer is constantly on tap, but the food is what attracts today's discerning customers.
Hi, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about just a couple of things. What is tripe? I'm sorry?
Tripe is the lining of the stomach.
We'll pass on that one.
Okay, it's a Madrid style of dish.
Yes, okay, yes. What about the Lancashire hot pot?
Lancashire hot pot is neck of lamb, made with potatoes, vegetables, all in a good stock, very sort of traditional British food.
Sounds good. Actually, I think I'll go with that.
Nice.
You're welcome. Can I have a pint of Guinness, please?
If you're looking for a gastropub in London, there are pitfalls. Not everywhere is a true gastropub. But when you walk in, have a look at the blackboard. Try rubbing the chalk off with your hand. If it doesn't come off, and it's not a gastropub. Find out if you can have a fried English breakfast at the weekends. Find out if you can have a Sunday roast. If you can, it's a gastropub.
Oh, thank you very much. This looks very nice. Thanks. I've actually been pleasantly surprised with Anchor and Hope. I really enjoyed the size of the portions are actually a little bit large, and I know that's a joke against Americans typically, but no, the portions were very nice, and I would say the food has been excellent. Very tasty.
Now, if you fancy a little culture with your calories, then Sarastro's on Drury Lane should hit the right note. The restaurant is designed like a theatre, complete with royal boxes, and every Sunday and Monday evening, Sarastro diners find themselves in the middle of an operatic performance.
Most people enjoy it. You only get the occasional one who sort of goes, they're not interested, but most people really, really enjoy it, and they like being that close to somebody who's making quite that amount of noise as well, which is interesting. The experience of coming to this restaurant, I would say, is certainly something quite exciting and unique, and it just leaves a good feeling.
We sat back in a cozy little nook, and it just felt really secluded, like we had our own spot here, and you feel really connected. Whereas if you went to the theatre, you sort of feel a little more distant.
London really is a place to feast in, and with so much choice, quality and culture, you'll have a lot to digest. world's a stage, then London is centre stage. Famous for its theatre and outstanding entertainment, this really is the city where anything goes. So let's follow in those famous footsteps and take a look at some of the amazing venues, and we'll take a peek at the show that's been dubbed the greatest production on earth. With over 160 venues in town, London is arguably the world's centre for theatre. With all this choice, we bring you the only show worth seeing in town and the best place to catch a rising star.
It's a rite of passage coming to do theatre in London.
Actor Michael Brandon plays Jerry Springer in the award-winning hit show Jerry Springer, the Opera.
If you take the concept of the Jerry Springer show, basically it's a lot of conflict, which is what opera is about. Now you put it all to incredible music, and you take the foulest of language and lift it to a state of art. It becomes poetry.
The show is currently the hot ticket in London and has opened opera up to a whole new audience. Even its writers are new to opera.
Before I directed Jerry Springer the Opera, I'd never seen any opera or musical theatre. I always felt instinctively there were things I wouldn't understand or like. I've been proved wrong. I've been to see some now.
Look at little Piggy, see how she squeal. My advice to you.
The show has had rave reviews, even from the only critic whose opinion really matters.
Jerry himself came to the show, and his only comment then was, "I wish I'd thought of it." And he said, "You so got me. You so got me." He says, you know, it was like he was bewildered. He says, "I was stunned. I wasn't able to speak, you know."
Welcome to the show, Tremont.
He gave me the full nod, you know, he said, that was it, the best review I could have got.
I thought it was great. I thought it very, very funny. As long as you're not easily offended, then it's definitely worth seeing.
I'd advise anybody to come and see that. It was really enjoyable. If you don't like opera, then that's the one to see.
Jerry Springer is London's hit musical, but if you're after a more intimate experience, then you need to visit the King's Head in Islington. Situated at the back of a traditional British pub, the King's Head Theatre puts on plays every week of the year and has had the Hollywood A-list tread its boards.
It's one place you cannot miss when you come to London, is the King's Head.
The 115-seater theatre is well known to actors both in the UK and the US. Actress Angelica Torn is currently performing at the theatre.
But what's so great about the theatre itself is that it's very old-fashioned. It's almost like the way that medieval theatres in a very small pub. Like you can imagine that it was the way it had been for years and years and years.
And that's exactly what some of Hollywood's finest think. John Hurt and, of course, Hugh Grant have both performed at the theatre.
Yeah, beautiful.
So if you want to catch the next hot actor before they hit Hollywood, the King's Head is the theatre to visit in London. From huge stadium arenas to the more intimate, exclusive clubs, the London music scene is buzzing 24/7. And we'll let you in on the best places to catch a band, whether you're looking for a big name or the next big thing. There are over 150 music venues dotted throughout the capital. With all this choice, we decided to bring the tunes to you and 3 of the best places to catch a band in London. Situated on Frith Street in trendy Soho, Ronnie Scott's is not only in the heart of London, but has been at the heart of British jazz for nearly 50 years. Pete King is one of the original owners.
Well, Ronnie Scott's is the biggest jazz brand name in the world. There's no question about it.
The club has witnessed the hippest names in jazz perform on its stage, including Ella Fitzgerald and Donald Byrd.
There's an atmosphere here. The atmosphere really is all the music that's in the plaster on the walls.
But if you don't dig jazz or you want something more contemporary, then Oxford Street's 100 Club is the place to be. The Travel Channel was given exclusive access.
The Rolling Stones, the Kinks, the Who, the Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Jam. Paul Weller's come back here and played since he's been a solo artist. We've had John Spencer's Blues Explosion. We've had the White Stripes, Oasis.
The club has been in Jeff Horton's family for over 50 years, and he's been lucky enough to witness some of the biggest names in rock playing on its stage. And to this day, it still remains true to its rock and roll roots.
you come with me, I'll show you the notoriously scruffy 100 Club changing rooms. As you can see, there's still not a great deal to be written home about, but there's a lot of very famous backsides sat on these barrels. The likes of Mick Jagger's got changing here, John Lydon, the White Stripes, and I think probably after 40 years it deserves a coat of paint or two now.
The club might not be much to look at, but back in 1976, one event changed the venue's fortunes forever. Maybe they didn't realise how big it was going to be, but the Punk Festival of 1976 was to revolutionise the music scene.
London calling to the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down.
The fact that this was such an important part of the movement's beginning, it means a great deal to us, and it's probably the one thing that the club has become very, very famous for.
And nearly 30 years on, the club is still recognised by music lovers around the world as punk's spiritual home.
All the guys that played in the famous Punk Festival of '76 were all actually on that stage. And in fact, I actually get a lot of people, especially young Japanese kids, who come knocking on the door, and they're all still mad about punk. And they actually come in, they say, is it OK if we take a photograph, you know? And there's normally two of them. And then one will go on the stage and start pogoing up and down while the other one takes a photograph, and they'll swap over and then leave. So it's got a lot of history, that stage, definitely.
Only 15 minutes walk from the 100 Club is the smaller, more quirky 12 Bar Club. But because of the club's unique layout, there are some tough decisions to make when watching bands play. Do you stay downstairs and only get the band's legs? Or go upstairs and only see their faces?
I was a bit freaked out when I first came here, and you go and see the band and all you see is their bottom half, and then you go upstairs to the second half to see the top half, so it's a bit of a novelty.
The balcony's right on you, right on top of you. The people at the bottom look at you to about your midsection, and the people at the top can see the other half down, but it's very nice and homey.
MPE are an unsigned three-piece from Philly who have performed all over Europe and played the 12 Bar Club several times before.
Was the sky, if my love was the sky, I swirl the clouds into a dream for you and I.
Gourmet underground acoustic experience. It's got a lot of character. I mean, they let lots of really loose musical things happen. But it's beautifully curated.
I mean, it's an amazing venue. It's so intimate, and this band just absolutely rocked.
Just a small, cool little club.
Yeah,
good vibes.
Very bohemian.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like watching the top half of a band or the bottom half of a band, the quirky 12 Bar Club is a good bet for both. If you'd rather see the stars at play than actually playing, then Opium and Funky Buddha are clubs that attract a younger party crowd.
One of Funky Buddha's biggest fans is Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy's party here a year and a half ago was the talk of the town, and it still is the talk of the town.
When he invited all his friends down and partied drinking Cristal champagne.
Everyone in London showed up to that. I mean, there was such trouble at the door.
Surrounded by 8 bouncers, and him and Khalees were sitting there just swigging the champagne, and you had to be invited into the circle to go and say hello to Mr. Puff Daddy.
Just remember to call him P. Diddy, unless, of course, he tells you different. But if you're not a fan of Sean Puff Daddy P. Diddy Coombs and more into movies than music, try star spotting at Opium in Soho instead.
When you enter Opium, you go through this gold tunnel to get into the main area, which has got 3 pagodas and a great Vietnamese restaurant. I've been there on a number of occasions. I've bumped into Liv Tyler, Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah, it's quite a funky place.
London is a city that embraces tradition, adores novelty, and is the ultimate in luxurious style. From the classic to the cutting edge, it really can lay claim to being the hippest city in the world. You now know where Justin drinks and where Gwyneth bought her pyjamas. We've taken you to the coolest bars, the hippest hotels, and the tastiest restaurants. You've seen the trendiest area in town, and now you know where P. Diddy likes to party. But hey, don't take my word for it. Come and check it out for yourself. I guarantee you'll have the time of your life.